Welcome back to Las Vegas. It's Alex Belfield back in Sin City here at the Rio Casino, which is just slightly off the strip, but it's one of the coolest places to come and see lots of shows, including the Chippendales and Penn and Teller. And Michael Jackson, well, it's actually Michael Firestone. He's playing MJ live here at a fantastic showroom. How are you?
Pretty good. How's it going?
Hey, it's nice to see you. I'm so fascinated by you, what you've created and the show you do, because it seems like this is your life. I mean, you've put your entire energies into recreating Michael Jackson as a tribute. You've been doing it all your life. You've toured the world doing it, and now you're the best at it. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. But there's a lot of guys that are way better than me. I think I like watching them more than I watch myself.
Well, you're very humble.
I can't say who they are because then I advertise them. But there's other guys that are really...
I've seen other guys and they're very good, and so are you. I mean, you've got it down. There are affectations that he had, obvious ones like the dancing and the arms and the glove and all that stuff. That's the easy stuff. But it's the nuances of the singing, it's the little look this way, the touching of the microphone, all that stuff. How many hours, days, months, years have you spent watching him to get this as good as you've got it?
Maybe I started when I was like 6, really watching, and then I started studying and dancing maybe when I was 10, when I found the old VCR, the slow motion button, and you hit it once, it goes slow, it goes faster. So, I mean, I'm 34 now, so, 28 years maybe, every day.
What has the last couple of years been like for you? Because it's not been a great time for Michael or his legacy, let's face it. There he was, just before he died, about to come to England to take on this huge arena, 18,000 seats at the O2. And we got to see the rehearsals, which were in themselves magnificent, and it didn't happen. And then, of course, we found out how dark his life was, really, and how bad it had become. Yeah. How personally did you take that? Do you sort of distinguish between the fact that you're not Michael Jackson and you are, or have you, in a way, sort of taken on who he is and his spirit?
No, I'm not even 2% of Michael Jackson. So, and I can't watch him a lot anymore because it makes me sad, man. I hated, I was shocked. Like for weeks, I just kind of laid around and moped around, and I wasn't really, it's like losing my father or my brother or something. So we got the show here and I'm very appreciative, but it's like I don't have nothing to look forward to in pop music. To me, it's dead to me. It's just regurgitated Michael Jackson, Madonna. It all sounds like that stuff, which I love, but I'll just go watch them instead of the stuff that's out now, because some of the girls are pretty, but I don't think they can sing that good.
That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, I was just talking to the barman there. We're having a great chat about Las Vegas and show business today, and I'm a guy who's only ever done this. I've dedicated my life to it, and I love it. And then I see people who earn way, way more money than me for just having a big pair of boobs, and they get a headlining show. Nowhere is it written that this business is fair. And in a way, it wasn't fair to Michael, because it was taken away from him, wasn't it? In a way, he gave everything, and it was never enough.
Yeah, he's I got to meet him, and he called me on the phone one night. I talked to him for like 8 hours, and man, I'll tell you what. I loved him before that, but I did something else. To where I was like, God, I would never yell like oh, or stuff I thought was corny until I met him, and then I was like, it all clicked, who he was and what he was about, and that just made me appreciate him because I'm a songwriter, and I'm working on a record right now, and that's what we were doing. I wrote a tune for him that he heard, and that's why he called me. He didn't even know I did this. He lied to me. He was like, yeah, I know. I said, I do, impersonation. He was like, yeah. And a couple minutes later, I heard him like Googling it, So he was really, really, really like just super sweet.
I hear two different stories about Michael Jackson. I hear that he was absolutely true to himself, and then I hear other people say that they spoke to him on the phone and he had this manly, deep voice. Oh, yeah, totally. So who was the real Michael Jackson is the question.
Well, same thing with me. You said I have the nuances and all that. That's the word, nuances. That comes from being shy. Even though I'm up there, I'm still kind of shy until I get going. The same thing I got from him when I talked to him. He called and he was like, hi, it's Michael Jackson, and then he ropes off. And then maybe 5 minutes into it, he like turned into Bernie Mac or something. It just turned into like this old Smokey Robinson sounding, his voice was deeper than mine.
Do you think he didn't know who he really was because he had to act so much?
I think it was just a shy thing. I really do. I think that once he got comfortable with you, he came out of his shell. Because I think everybody lies at first. I've never gone on a date and really told the truth. Like, see that Lamborghini? That's mine. I rented it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I eat here all the time, and I saved up all week just to take her to that place because she was, you know, like the woman I'm with now, you know, I had to try to, like, take her to the nicest stuff. I had no money, you know. I was like, dude, I'll come back and tip you next week. So I think everybody kind of, you know, you put on a mask at first.
I literally have to put on a mask. You've seen my face and I've got ginger hair. That's not going to go down well at a date, is it?
That's awesome.
The production values in this show are incredible, really. You've got a full lighting rig and you've got a great band behind you and a good sound system as well, which I also think from a geeky perspective is quite important because he was a technician, wasn't he? He knew how to put on a show, and it would be very easy for this to look rubbish if you didn't do it brilliantly and put a lot of money and time into it. Yeah,
and like I said, it gets better we've had 2 weeks off, and a lot of that is new. I mean, we were continuing, like, always trying to get it better. I do a couple of different shows, and once it gets to the point where it's spinning its wheels, I leave. I just left a show called Moonwalker because they don't want to do it, and things don't have to be done my way. I don't mean it like that. And then some people think you have an ego. No, I don't want to. If somebody pays $70 to come see little me who lies about, you know, his restaurant, you know, bill,
can't afford to pay a tip.
Yeah, I can't get the tip. We need to knock them dead, man. I want them to leave wanting more. I don't want them to leave. I don't want them to go to the bathroom and then be like, I'm not going to go back in. And I've been in shows that, I mean, they don't do that, but I feel like we're not giving them enough. But here, this lights, we wanted to capture, you know, I'm thinking, every time I'm up here, I'm at Wembley Stadium, to me. That's what I pretend. That's what I see. Right. I see a bunch of, you know, British people, and I smell fish and chips. And I'm not just saying that because this is a British thing, but, you know, that was when when I was a kid. I lived in England, and that was when the bad tour came through, man, and it stuck with me. That's why I wear this look, kind of the bad look, you know.
I want to get back to you. I want to get back to your voice. I want to get back to Peterborough, where you lived. But firstly, let's talk tips. What am I meant to give? Because this whole trip, I'm feeling I'm offending people. For example, I just had a dinner, right, at Gordon Ramsay's at Planet Hollywood. Fantastic. I left $20. Is that okay? Well, I don't know. I didn't pay the bill because it was so. Yeah, but it probably would have been maybe $100. I don't know. It seems like people expect a lot in this town, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, like if I order pizza at my house, and I haven't taken this stuff off, which is rare. I don't drive around like this. Actually, everybody in town thinks I'm Chris Angel because I kind of have this long kind of, like, I don't get in the sun much. I look like the Lost Boys. But, I mean, I kind of over-tip, I guess, if I have this on. Like, I bought a pizza the other day, and I didn't hear the guy ring doorbell. It was a $20 pizza. I gave him a $25 tip. But that's because he had to come back. But, you know, if she's, you know.
Wow, so you gave him more than the pizza was worth?
Yeah, because I didn't hear the doorbell.
That's
and
insane.
He went back, and then he had to come back, so I felt bad.
All right, so you'd kind of put him to some bother, so I get that. But ordinarily $5 would have been fine, would it, or no?
No, 20 is good on 100. I think it's 20%. I do 30, just because.
It's kind of expensive, isn't it?
Not on the strip, though. You can get away. I mean, you could just, you know, I go Liam Gallagher. I just look, and I don't even pay. I just leave. Oh, man, whatever, man. You know what I mean? So, no, I'm joking. No, but, I mean, I tip just because I have 3 daughters. And 2 of them make a big mess. So I usually go, you know, 30%. And I go to the calculator, and if they're really nice, if they bring me, if my drink never goes down, I'll tip them. I'll make sure I tip them. If it's crap and she's snooty or whatever, nah, I won't tip at all. I'll walk out.
Every time you say something, I think of 4 more questions. The daughters thing, have they seen you do this?
Yeah, they come all the time. The little one hasn't. She's 3 months. I sing to her in the house. And she's a little sick, you know. She's so cute. She's like a little angel, and she's having trouble gaining weight right now. So I'm constantly, you know, doing little monkey faces to try to cheer her up because she's in constant pain in her stomach. But I have a 6-year-old and a 12-year-old, so they're all 6 years apart, and they both want to be. I just had to go daddy on my 12-year-old because I was like, you know, you gotta pull your grades up because I'm not going to college. I don't have to because you're you know, you're doing it for me. I'm gonna be an entertainer. I was like, girl, you gotta try to do something. Just what if something happens to me or
Hey, here's a story for you. I was just in the showroom, and the most gorgeous bartender, or whatever she was, server, came over to me, and she was chatting away, and she said, I said, where are you from? She said, I'm from Texas. I said, what do you do? She said, well, I'm a trained teacher. I said, well, why are you here? She said, well, let me tell you, as a teacher, I earn $30,000. Here, I earn $100,000 serving drinks. I mean, it's a crazy world. If you're cute and you're female, you're going to earn a fortune in this town.
Yeah. And especially, I mean, some of the dudes I hang out with, if we go to, a show, one of my best buddies, the director of this show, Eric Martin, I mean, if you're a pretty girl and it's a $6 drink, you'll tip her $100.
Wow.
Keep them coming, keep bringing drinks. Yeah, it's but I'm more out to, there's enough people doing that, so I generally, and he always makes fun of me because he's like, man, I'm tipping pretty girls, and there's a Vietnam veteran. We were at a burger joint somewhere out of town doing a show, and he comes rolling up, and I'm like, I'm an ex-military kid. No, I'm not ex-military, but I was a military kid, and he comes up, and this guy gives a girl $100 just to bring drinks, gives him $5. So I go right to the ATM and gave him like $200. Because, I mean, it's hot, it's like Phoenix or something. It's super hot. But I mean, I got a woman now, so I can't tip girls. I'd rather tip,
you just look at
disabled people. Yeah.
Yeah, tip disabled people.
And she punches me.
It's a strange world we live in. Peterborough was your home for a while. I mean, you know the UK very well.
You know what's funny, Peterborough? Because we kind of we bounced around. I think that's close to Stilton, right? Is on the A1 highway.
Right.
Alcabury, England. Alcabury was the base, and we ended up living there. But we lived 3 places. I believe it's Peterborough, Stilton, which is a little village, which was really cool. Because there was a scarecrow, and it's just like, England looks like a Tim Burton film to me. Which is not a bad thing. Like, as an American kid, and you go there, and it's just like, you get off the plane, it smells like coal, to me. Or something, and I just loved it.
Have you been watching too much Mary Poppins?
Yeah, I loved it, man. It was like, wow, this place is so cool. And that was right when American football started to kind of come in England. So all the kids were like, they were teaching us soccer, football, and we were teaching them American football. So it was like, it was a great thing, But a lot of the British moms didn't like us because we taught their kids how to fill their water balloons and their squirt guns with a couple things. Bleach is one of them. So we would get in so much trouble. I get called, is it a wanker?
Yeah.
I get called that a lot.
What is that? Want to see my website? It's full of it.
Yeah. So like, you're not allowed to hang out with that little wanker. Because they come home with bleach all over them. So, yeah.
That is a pretty vile thing to do, spray bleach over something.
Yeah, but they thought we were cool. It's just... it was a lot of fun. I really, every time I meet somebody from England, I ask where they're from because I hope I run into somebody I knew as a kid, And
60 million people. It's unlikely. It's when people ask me, did I know Princess Diana? I mean,
It's so weird because doing this, I met so many people, but nobody from England.
Listen, I love this show, and it's so technically brilliant, and watching you is a show in itself. Then you have your dancers behind you. Behind them are the band. It's beautifully staged. I wonder at what point you realised you could do it. I mean, was it a visual thing? Was it a vocal thing? Or was it a physical thing?
Actually, it was a I don't want to go to college thing. I just, and you should go to college. It's a good idea. I was just talking about my daughter should, but I was determined and weird enough. Like, I didn't want friends. I did want friends, but I did this to get friends. I knew that if I could do...
Do you mean laid or friends?
Like friends.
But, I mean, you did this to get laid or you did this to get friends?
I've actually never, but once, used this for that, ever. And she's at my house right now.
Wow.
I met her just last night. And this is the thing about that. No. She's, I'm pretty, I keep to myself. I meet a lot of people in this town, and the one thing that, you gotta be careful here with women, because I know of sick people, so I'm real, and plus I'm kind of shy. I could never be like, hey, check this out. I've been really, and I got daughters, so I've been pretty good.
Does it change your perspective when you go from be the guy that looks for girls to the guy that has 3 girls, and then you suddenly think, hang on, there's going to be another guy looking at my 3 girls eventually?
Yeah, that's exactly so. Like I said, I mean, I my first wife, I was with at 18 and had a baby with her girl, a little girl. So, I mean, she's 12. So for 12 years, I'm just like, if I'm walking a girl to her car, is to make sure she gets to her car, and that's it. Because I do believe in karma, and I have a little bit of a temper, and I don't want to have to deal with that because of me. You know what I mean? It'll make me even more mad if, he starts throwing all these douchebags in my daughter's path. So
you do know one of them is going to arrive and knock on your door sooner or later.
Yeah, actually.
And it's not that far away, is it?
Yeah, well, the one, which is kind of wrong because he was like 12. But he came over, he's like, yeah, like he's like kind of just like, yeah, I like her. I was like, okay, let's go play football, dude. And I had him running little button hooks. It's where you run out and you turn right around and the ball comes. Man, I bruised that kid's soul. I was hitting as hard as I could. I mean, I was stepping into whack, and he just hit the ground, get back up. He was a fighter.
Michael, come on.
I know, that's so
karma.
So but you know what? I guess, he was like William Wallace or something. He just kept coming back for more. So if that kid comes back, his name's Parker. If he came back, I'd know that, at least he really liked her.
Right.
Because
he'd passed the dad test.
Yeah, he did. The only one.
And when you catch yourself in the mirror, is it a bit strange? Because there's something a bit odd. Because, you do look like him. If anybody walked past you in this casino, if 1,000 people walk past you, 1,000 people will know this is Michael Jackson. Yeah. When you take all the gear off, you look nothing like him.
Yeah, I guess I get this chin still. I think people, I don't know if it's how I walk, but people wonder who I am. It's just the way by the way, I drive a Jaguar too, so I'm really into that whole British thing. It's right out back, actually. I think the combination of that, I'm into testing the police. I race them sometime. I don't know.
You're a rebel, aren't you, really?
Sometimes, but I tell you, I got two personalities. I don't know, I love Michael Jackson, but then there's the dark side. I love Liam Gallagher. I don't know why, man. Everybody, they're always like, why? He's such an idiot. It's like, look, he just stands there like this.
Well, it's his nonchalance, isn't it? It's the fact that he's unaffected and doesn't care.
I've never seen nobody that cool. Actually, if I walked out of here later, you would definitely see that's how my hair's cut. So I walk around. So, having that whole punk rock kind of attitude, I guess, and always wearing Guns N' Roses t-shirts, stuff like that. But, but it's not like with this. I won't go out there like this at all. I don't. Ever.
So does this come off now, or does it come off when you get home?
As soon as I go downstairs. Yeah. Because it's not, tonight would be a little different because I get right in my car and drive home, but I did that a couple weeks ago and I got pulled by a policeman, and he walks up and he's just like, he just had the face like, and I was like, dude, I haven't been drinking, and these curls made it look like I was drunk, because I would do like that, because the curl, and he believed me because I wasn't, and it was funny.
Do you have to do the go and look at the poster at the Rio, I'm the guy?
I hate that poster. I don't look at myself at all, man. I don't like the way with my own.
How do you explain to it? How did you tell him? I
was like this. So he goes, so are you at the Rio? I was like, yeah. And he was like, where are you going? I said, going to get sushi. And he said, okay, I'll be right back. He goes back, runs my plates. He goes, so do you know you were speeding? I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I had to cut. I just realized that I was heading home, and then my fiance just called, and I cut across a bunch of traffic because I was right at Lake Mead Boulevard. Like, I needed to get over because, going and doing the right legal thing was wrong. So I had cut. And he said, so hold on a second. I thought you were going to get sushi, so now you're going home? I was like, yeah. And he goes, let me see, where's home? I said, out on Daisy Petal. He's like, well, your license says Shimmering Avenue. And I was like, I got two homes. Because now I'm going to lie.
And now he doesn't believe you. Now he knows.
Yeah, now I haven't changed my license. And now he's like, I wonder if this guy's really at the Rio, And or if he just robbed a bank, dressed up like Michael Jackson. Put the money in the bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not fooling anyone, is it? Listen, I could talk to you all day. You're fascinating. And to see you on stage come on as that, and then to see you sat here slightly creepy, looking like a man who's dead is very strange. But the audience reaction is phenomenal. And of course, we still have a great fondness for him, and that will never go away, despite as much bile is going to be thrown at the man. I can't imagine. There can't be anything else, can there? It's as worse as it's going to get, so now we can remember him for the music.
Well, I'm sure they can. I'm kind of going through the same, not obviously as publicly, man, but, I got my inner, with my business circle, and I got people, like I said, I'm quitting a show that I've been with for 3 years, and they kind of stole it from me, not this one. And these people are just trying to burn every bridge I got. And I like burning bridges because if they're weak, I don't want to drive my car over them anyway.
You're talking to a man who's just spent 3 years in court with a certain company and just settled it, and it's soul-destroying. There is no worse place to be than fighting someone who's probably got more money than you, who doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, and then, like I said, the Michael Jackson thing, they're always going to say things about him. And like I said, the only thing he ever did with kids was give him $350 million. Right. And crazies that mess with little kids don't care about kids. They're not going to do that. Anybody's like, well, that's a cover-up. You're a redneck. Go play with your sheep. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what you're talking about. Not that guy. I could just tell. 8 hours talked to him, and all he talked about was, it's like the only good memories he had was he talked about his kids, and then he talked about being a kid. And it's because from about 16 on, they started saying, oh, he's got pimples, his nose is big, oh, he changed this, he changed that, and I just, that's why I like Liam Gallagher.
You see, we created him and we destroyed him, whereas Liam just doesn't care. I mean, he doesn't change. He won't be affected by the media. He's completely unaffected by show business. And there's something to be said for it. In hindsight, when you look at what happened to Michael and you look where Liam is now.
Well, and I swear, if I ever play England and I play big, hopefully 12,000 at least people, because we can do that, if we do it right. I've done it before. I played for 28,000 one night. People, that was kind of cool. Wow. But if I ever get kind of northern England, I promise you I'll be singing Live Forever like this. Because that'd just be cool. Nobody's ever done that.
You got to do it. You got to do it. Because there's a touch of the Russell Brands about it as well, isn't there?
I love Russell Brand. Actually, man, when I leave here, right, I like walk around like this and people are like, man. I love Russell Brand too, man. That get him to the Greek, that's my life.
Do that accent for the next policeman who pulls you over.
Look, man, you're fucking messing with me. I was trying to get home. I got my heroin. Jackie's over there waiting for me.
It's a funny old world, isn't it? Yeah,
I got problems. I'm sorry, everybody.
Hey, listen, lovely to see you here at the Rio. And if you like Michael Jackson, you can't fail to love this show. Just one note about your voice. I thought Billie Jean, you stole the show with that tonight, because it's the really big song where we get to hear you sing, opposed to hear the band perform and you dance. Yeah. You've got a good set of pipes on you, and you know how to do it.
It's funny because every night, and I did from June 2nd to December 10th, I did like 175 shows. That's why I lost this a couple weeks ago, which I'll never do again. I got to be careful. But Billie Jean is the hardest song to do because of that. And to save it last is kind of ballsy, because once you get through the song, which takes a lot of control to try to sound smooth, once you get through all that, then you have that dance break. So I'd start running out, and there's been many nights that when I get to that, don't want to come, don't want to come, I'll be actually blacking out, don't want to come, and I won't see nothing. Billie Jean is not my love, and I'll just run off stage and get some water real quick. I mean, it's pretty, I'm getting old, man.
Well, I mean, and this is a physical show, as old as you are, as young as you are. I mean, you've got to be in physical shape to do it. You have to
be, like tonight, I'll go home, I'll take my little glucosamine for my knees, I jump in the bath like a little old man, and I try to wind down, which takes till 4. I won't go out there because there's smoke. I don't party. I don't have time. This is my party every day. Right. I get to party every night with people.
Exactly. And I admire you for that, because I think if you get carried away in this town, you won't survive, because it'll eat you alive.
Yeah, like Get Him to the Greek, Russell Brand. That was me 3 years ago. I almost got banned out of Fresno Airport because I was on the bar going, "This is a thing, man." Like Arthur, So.
I think you'd be a great dinner date to have cocktail stories with. I think you've lived a life, and you can tell when you see this show, you've clearly dedicated your life to making this as good as it can be. Congratulations on talking to me today and putting on such a fine show. Michael Firestone is MJ Live here at Rio. Really nice to meet you.
You too, man. Thank you so much.